Welcome to the third annual prestigious award ceremony, which will celebrate a most deserving group of young people. Prestigious and deserving are our themes. Prestigious because this award is the legacy of two of the world's great champions of the abolition of nuclear weapons, Mikhail Gorbachev and George Schultz. This award is their gift to all of us. Prestigious also because this presentation happens on the United Nations International Day for the total elimination of nuclear weapons, September 26th. And the word deserving, because this award today is given to Youth Fusion. In a moment, you will understand why this group was the chosen recipient. Welcome all. I am William Swing of the United Religions Initiative, URI, and it is my distinct honor on behalf of URI's Voices for a World Free of Nuclear Weapons to host this event. Mikhail Gorbachev died recently. Before stepping into today's celebration, I would like to pause and remember this man who changed the world. Speaking of his own spiritual tradition, Gorbachev once wrote, "I believe in the cosmos. All of us are linked to the cosmos. So nature is my God. To me, nature is sacred. Trees are my temple, and forests are my cathedrals. Being at one with nature." End of quote. URI, which respects people of all religions, indigenous traditions, and spiritual expressions, gives thanks for the vastness of Mikhail Gorbachev's vision, his courage to take the boldest of actions, and his confidence that oneness will ultimately triumph over divisions. At the end of his life, may the trees of the forest bend toward Mikhail Gorbachev. May the cathedral of nature overarch him tenderly. And may the power at the center of the cosmos embrace him. So be it. Now, to bring us deeper into the Gorbachev-Schultz legacy, will be a world-recognized leader in the movement for the abolition of nuclear weapons, Alan Ware. Alan?
Hello, everybody, and welcome today. Thank you for joining us for this special ceremony on the International Day for the Total Elimination of Nuclear Weapons. My name's Alan Ware. I'm originally from Aotearoa, New Zealand, now living in the Czech Republic, but today calling in from Switzerland. And it's wonderful to be with you. I am Global Coordinator of Parliamentarians for Nuclear Non-Proliferation and Disarmament, the Director of the Basel Peace Office, and a member of the World Future Council. And it was my privilege and honour to nominate Youth Fusion for this award. And I was very pleased to see that the judges saw the tremendous contribution that Youth Fusion and the wonderful young leaders of Youth Fusion are making to intergenerational dialogue and cooperation, youth engagement on issues of peace, nuclear disarmament, climate change, sustainable development, equality, women's rights, seeing the interconnection of these issues, Youth Fusion is leading in a range of different forums at the United Nations General Assembly, Human Rights Council, and also in public forums and with parliamentarians and other constituents. So it was a great, I was very pleased that the Voices for a World Free of Nuclear Weapons saw the wonderful contribution Youth Fusion are making. So today, what I was just going to show you quickly before Reverend Swing introduces the award itself is to give a little bit more of a background on Gorbachev, who is, one of the two people after which this award has been named, the Gorbachev Schultz Legacy Youth Award. And this is just a short excerpt from a video that was made of a conversation between Mikhail Gorbachev and George Schultz just over a year ago. This was just before George Schultz passed away. And as we know, very recently, Mikhail Gorbachev also passed away. It's called The Bomb, Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow, produced by United Religions Initiatives and Voices for a World Free of Nuclear Weapons. And we're just going to show you a 3-minute clip of it. And then in the chat box, we'll put the web link where you can see more of this. So I'm just going to show this to you now, and I hope you find it as engaging as we have. There we go. I'll just open.
Особенно я хотел сказать, вложив все эмоциональное, что в моей душе существует, что хуже всего то, что в последние годы произошел коллапс доверия в отношениях между ведущими державами, которые, согласно Уставу ООН, несут главную ответственность за поддержание международного права, за безопасность, который по-прежнему обладает огромными запасами ядерного оружия и обязаны его сокращать, вплоть до его ликвидации. Это обязательство договора о нераспространении никто не отменял. Я с огромной тревогой вынужден говорить о милитаризации международных отношений. Это результат вот всех этих ошибок, которые допущены, промахов, крупных, опасных. Проблемы, конфликты последних 2 десятилетий, которые вполне можно было бы урегулировать мирными политическими, дипломатическими средствами, пытались решить путем применения силы. Так было и в бывшей Югославии, и в Ираке, и в Ливии, и в Сирии. Хочу подчеркнуть, что это не привело к решению проблем. Результатом стало расшатывание международного права, подрыв доверия, милитаризации. Милитаризация как политики, так и мышления всего. И в этих условиях говорить о движении к безъядерному миру становится все труднее. Это надо честно признать. Пока мировая политика не вернется в нормальную колею, пока не произойдет демилитаризация международных отношений, цель совместно обозначенная в Рейкьявике будет не приближаться, а отдаляться. Чтобы изменить такое положение, необходим диалог. Фактически отказ от него в последние годы был самой большой ошибкой.
So that was just a very short clip. We will put in the chat soon the URL for the full dialogue, but you can see from part of that some of the key principles that we are espousing, which is to look at resolving conflicts, demilitarizing relations, dialogue, conflict resolution, and that's part of the important work that needs to be done in order to achieve a world free of nuclear weapons. So thank you very much. I'll pass back now to Reverend Swing, who will introduce the Gorbachev Schultz Legacy Youth Award. Reverend Swing, you'll need to unmute yourself.
Muting me. Okay, we live in a moment when young people the world over are alert and active change agents in the threats brought by climate change. At the same time, very few young people in the world both understand the threat of nuclear weapons and who devote their lives. This is what makes Youth Fusion so very special. They are prophetic messengers in our moment of history. Young people who sound the alarm, gather other people together, and take action opportunistically. In a moment, you will note when you see the award that a gold ginkgo leaf is sitting in the middle of it. Let me tell you about it. That's because when the atomic bomb landed in Hiroshima, most of the trees died, except 4 ginkgo trees. Saplings of these trees were brought to San Francisco and planted in the Japanese tea garden in honor of George Schultz. A leaf of these Hiroshima trees resides now in the middle of your award as a symbol of endurance, peace, and hope for the world. Therefore, it is my distinct honor on behalf of Voices for a World Free of Nuclear Weapons to present the 3rd Annual Youth Award to Youth Fusion. Vanda Proskova of Prague, Czech Republic, I hope that you will hold up the award so everybody can see it and see the gold leaf, ginkgo leaf from Hiroshima in the middle of it. Thank you so much. And now I turn the program over to you, Vanda, and to your colleagues.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bill. Listening to the ginkgo story, I had goosebumps. But in all seriousness, also, I will put this down because it's surprisingly heavy, but I will hold it up again towards the end of the program. No, but truthfully, I cannot express how big of an honor this is. So thank you, not just on behalf of myself, but of course, everyone at Youth Fusion, the core team members, Michaela, Nico, Marjan, but also the program officers and interns, Irena, Melusine, Ryan, and Ivan, who's here representing them. As you can see, we are a vibrant group of individuals coming from all around the globe, really, from different backgrounds, studying different majors, but we all have the same goal, to make this world safer, more peaceful, and more sustainable, and eventually, hopefully, nuke-free. And I think that's what makes this group of young changemakers, if we can call ourselves that, the young changemakers that you can see today on the screen, but also those that are watching, so powerful. Youth Fusion, we run on volunteers. We all do this in our free time and on our own dime. But why? Well, firstly, because we all believe in this cause, in this, we think, achievable vision of a world without nuclear weapons. But secondly, because we as a team of young professionals help each other, we learn with and from each other and help each other grow. And I guess this is where my part of the speech turns more into this love letter to my colleagues. Guys, every single one of you that are here, but also those, again, who are not visible on the screens today and are watching in the background, you really inspire me every single day. The security field is still rather male dominated, and it probably comes as no surprise that there are not many young people there. And I couldn't tell you how often we all join events where we're the youngest individuals, and then the second youngest are maybe 20 years older than we are. And And I guess that's also a big part of the reason why I wanted to co-found Youth Fusion, or bring the former Abolition 2000 Youth Network to life, to bring more young people into the game, to give them the space and the support they need to make their mark, to help us make this world a better place, and also to connect them with each other with the right resources at the right time. So what I'm trying to say here, thank you, my dear colleagues, for doing precisely this, for making Youth Fusion really the powerhouse that it is. Thank you for educating and motivating more young people, me included, to get involved in the movement every single day. You really, really make me so proud to be a part of this. And to all of our maybe around 400 young members and supporters and partners, another thank you. Of course, without you, Youth Fusion wouldn't be where it is now. We have launched Youth Fusion not even 2 years ago. It's still just a baby, but I won't reminisce now. I know that Marjan is later going to talk about the growth and the vision, so I'll leave that to her. Instead, I would just quickly like to cover the basics of what Youth Fusion does, just in case there's anyone new in the audience who doesn't know us yet. So, hi, we're Youth Fusion. We are a worldwide networking platform for young individuals and organizations in the field of nuclear disarmament, but also risk reduction and non-proliferation. We focus on youth action and intergenerational dialogue, building on the links between disarmament, peace, climate action, sustainable development, but also building back better from the pandemic. We organize forums and events for intergenerational, but also intersectional conversations, so that youth and even the not so young can listen and learn from each other and build cooperation for more effective policy action. So if we were to summarize this, our goals are pretty clear. We aim to inform, educate, connect, and engage our members from all around the globe. We have young members, those around the age of 35. Then we have supporters, that's anyone above that age limit, but also organizational members such as school clubs or just different youth groups or NGOs. Here's just a little shout out. Membership is of course free with no commitments. So needless to say, if we have anyone in the audience who still isn't a member, make sure to visit youth-fusion.org. All the information on how to join is there. We of course would not be able to do this completely alone. We have many partners around the globe, including, of course, parliamentarians for nuclear non-proliferation and disarmament, or Basel Peace Office. So that's a shout out to Alan here, who's doing the technical facilitation of today's event. But we were also partnering with the Interparliamentary Union, or the IPU, for example, or the Youth for TPNW group. And as of this summer, the whole core team has undergone the OSCE UNODA Scholarship for Peace and Security. So we're further building our connections to the OSCE there. So if this isn't networking, I don't know what is. But aside from these partnerships, we also have our own Youth Fusion projects or programs that we advance or collaborate on collectively as a team. And when we're putting together this program, we said that each member would talk briefly about their work. So looking at the time, I will be very short. And I also assume that you guys don't want to hear that much about all the admin stuff, which is what I do a lot of anyways. But I would like to highlight maybe just the cooperation with #YouthForDisarmament, which I hope you know, that's the youth-focused initiative of the United Nations Office for Disarmament Affairs. We have partnered with them on multiple projects, including, for example, the popular #StepUpForDisarmament. It's an action inviting individuals from around the globe to become physically active while commemorating the International Day Against Nuclear Tests on August the 29th. So that's just an example of what we do. But also this year, I was honored to be selected by UNODA's Youth for Disarmament as one of the 25 Leaders for a Future, a group of young professionals who received special training through a series of workshops and are now creating our own projects to advance the field of disarmament. So my project has just relaunched, and this is really me just making a shout out for that. but I would like to invite you all to check it out because I'm super excited by it. It is a new podcast series titled Youth Fusion Peace Out. And well, to summarize, the aim of Peace Out is twofold. Firstly, by showcasing the incredible work of my peers, I hope to motivate more young people to get involved in their communities to help make this world a more peaceful and sustainable place. But secondly, we also hope to highlight the interconnectedness of disarmament, peacemaking, and sustainability, and how we cannot focus on one and forget about the other. And so in every episode, I'll get to chat with young leaders from around the globe. We'll talk about their motivation, but also setbacks, and what we can do to support them and their projects. So it's all about youth empowerment and what we can do to help each other. Needless to say, I'm beyond excited to learn with and from these exceptional young change makers. So by this, I would like to invite you all to listen to just a 2-minute long trailer that we've launched last week, and let me know what you think. All of our podcasts are available on all your standard podcast channels, whether it is Spotify or Apple Podcasts. So make sure to give it a listen and share any feedback with us. We always love to hear from our listeners, and that goes to all of the podcast series that we run. So I think this was all from me about the what aspect of Youth Fusion. We're just getting started. Next, I will give the virtual floor over to Marjan, my fellow co-founder of Youth Fusion, who will talk more about the why, but also reflect on the growth. Then we will hear from Michaela and Nico, who complete the core team of Youth Fusion, and finally also from Ivan, who will talk about Youth Fusion from the intern side. And please note, we haven't coordinated this. So I also can't hear what he has to say. I hope he'll be nice to us. But for now, thank you so much, Bill. Thank you so much to Voices and URI, to my colleagues. Thank you everyone for joining us today. It's an incredible honor. I will lift this up again. Thanks so much. And Marjan, over to you.
Thank you, Wanda, and hi everybody. And thank you everyone for joining this special award ceremony, which is being commemorated on a special date, September 26th, which is International Day for the total elimination of nuclear weapons. And first of all, let me start with the words of thanks. So thank you to United Religions Initiative, as well as Voices for Nuclear Weapons Free World, for giving us this award and for recognizing our group efforts. We really are grateful for this. Secondly, I would like to thank Alan for nominating us for this award and for actually accepting the initiative from our side to nominate us for this award. And final thanks goes to the team, to the current team of Youth Fusion, as well as previous members and everybody who is contributing with us towards nuclear-free world. And since Wanda covered most of the things about the current projects and other things as well, I'd be joining in that too. And I just would like to have the, I guess, look into the history, the foundation of the Youth Fusion. So the history of Youth Fusion or Youth Network or Youth Working Group of Abolition 2000 started 5 years ago, to be precise, in May 2017, when I was first introduced to Abolition 2000. So being in that platform, I have recognized and I have seen myself that there weren't that many young people involved, which led me to the idea of actually creating a working group, which is specifically dedicated to youth participation, youth empowerment, which would be built on 3 principles, 3 I's I would call. So first of all, I standing for inclusive. So the group which is open to every young person from any part of the world. Secondly, intergenerational dialogue. Since there is a need for more generational cooperation, meaning that senior fellows can mentor the younger generation and exchange the knowledge and experience, which is very vital. And finally, the third principle of I is innovative. As you might know, the nuclear weapons field is very polarized, and innovation, which means new approaches to nuclear disarmament, is also important. And I think that young people are those who are driven by new ideas, by fresh ideas, and by their energy. And fast forward, Youth Network was rebranded 2 years ago into Youth Fusion in order to become more attractive to the young people and to create an own website in which different types of resources would be available, different ways of getting actually involved, and providing with different types of activities from our sides, as well as opportunities as well. And to mention some of the projects from my side, so I have initiated the international youth delegation to participate at the NPT conferences, and this opportunity provides for younger people to participate at this international forum, to have their voices heard, as well as be proactive when it comes to policy towards nuclear weapons. And another initiative, which is also very important, is the newsletter of the Youth Fusion, which provides, again, different sets of opportunities for younger people, how to be active, how to have their voices heard not only locally, internationally, but also globally. And finally, the vision, which I would like to talk about for Youth Fusion. So one of the first important visions for the Youth Fusion is more partnerships and collaborations. More of partnerships and global collaborations in a global spirit, but with local and international impact. Secondly, more projects and initiatives on disarmament from intersectional perspectives, meaning that disarmament should be approached in different ways and in different forums as well. Thirdly, Youth Network should remain an inclusive platform and also outreach and engage to the underrepresented youth from different underrepresented regions and countries, especially the ones which were affected by the nuclear weapons testing in use, and building bridges between global South and global North. Because I think with this cooperation, we can do more of joint efforts. And two more things that I would like to mention is translation of the resources that we have on our website when we have such capacities, or otherwise also having more of original content in different United Nations languages, so that the platform is actually accessible for different types of voices from different types of, from different corners of the world, yeah. And since language can be also a barrier as well in the nuclear disarmament field. And finally, to contribute to disarmament education, because we see that there is quite a lack of knowledge gap when it comes to current and future generations. And it's important to be informed and knowledgeable when it comes to the nuclear weapons field, especially in the light of heightened nuclear risks and threats. And with this, I would like to thank you again, and I look forward to the rest of the ceremony. Thank you.
Well, hello, everybody. I guess I am the next speaker, and thank you so much to the previous speakers and for all of you being here today and all of our support. It's so great to see it. I'm truly feeling all the love today. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Michaela Higgins Sørensen. I'm currently based in Copenhagen, and I'm doing an internship with the Danish Institute for International Studies, working on nuclear disarmament issues alongside my role as PNND's Gender, Peace and Security Program Director, and also a proud core member of Youth Fusion. And I'll let you on a little secret. Youth Fusion is my favorite among these roles for multiple reasons. And I'll tell you a little bit more about why that is so.
So for the last 2 years of Youth Fusion, it's just been full of making wonderful memories, connections, exciting projects, plans, and achieving so many wonderful things together. I joined Youth Fusion before it was Youth Fusion back in 2020 when Alan, Vanda, and Mazan scooped me up amid my internship with PNND. And I was completely new to the world of nuclear disarmament at that stage, but very interested in gender, peace, and security issues. So I had no idea just what was in store for me. Since then, Youth Fusion has taught me so much and has taken me places I never thought possible. I couldn't have imagined that I would be part of such an inspiring and dynamic youth-led organization that would be doing all of these amazing things and gain such recognition in such a short period of time. I don't think I truly grasped just how phenomenal Youth Fusion was when we were sitting online at meetings discussing what our name should be, choosing the design for our logo and the layout of the content for the website, or what our first webinar was going to be about. When you're part of the planning process of something, you're so engrossed in all of the details and the overview of so many different parts of the overall thing, you hardly have a minute to step back and look at what you've been part of and to actually get a chance to stand back and say, wow, look at what we've done here. But that's what we're doing here today with you all. We're taking stock of our achievements, we're celebrating them, and we're legitimizing all of the hard work we have done over the span of these past 2 very eventful and exciting years. Youth Fusion has grown so much in such a short period of time, and it's because of the people who put so much work and love into it. So I'd like to take the time to acknowledge my teammates, because we have truly been in this together, and they need to know how great that they all are. So I'm going to go in depth and write an alphabetically ordered love letter to all of the core team and the interns. So please bear with me. To Mazan, thank you so much for all of the hard work and expertise you have brought to Youth Fusion. You have been the person that we have double-checked all of our projects with, and you ensure that our content is of the highest quality. The Youth Fusion newsletter would have been a hot mess if I hadn't been able to send you the drafts with your input and to overview everything for the first few tries at least. So thank you so much for being part of all of our development, as well as serving as the sturdy eagle eye of Youth Fusion and making sure that everything runs smoothly. Nico, thank you so much for contributing to so much of our fundamental structures and making so many useful guides to ensure that our activities can teach others and go on and on for posterity. You have added such value, not only to our projects and activities, but also to our internal workings, and are truly the voice of reason that reins us all in and takes care of us. You are always there for your teammates, and you've provided a safe and conducive space for us all. Vanda, thank you for pretty much everything. You have poured so much of yourself into Youth Fusion, from taking the lead on the website formation to being the closest thing we have to a functioning adult in regards to taking care of all of the various legal documents and partnerships we have, and for always, and I really mean always, finding a solution to absolutely everything. You are truly our Wonder Woman, and I honestly don't know how we would function without you. To the core team, I absolutely have loved being on this journey with you and watching you all grow, and to also have grown so much alongside you. I just want to say to all of you that you have shaped me and have impacted me greatly over these past 2 years, and I am forever grateful for it. I hope I've also managed to teach you a few things and to shape you in some ways for the better, and I hope I can continue to do so. Now to the new blood, our interns, I would like to shine some light on them because they are absolutely brilliant. So again, in alphabetical order, here goes my ode to the interns. Irina, you have just blown us away with your ambition. All the while doing an internship with the IAEA, you have taken so much initiative and have shaped Youth Fusion for the better and really rocked our world with the newsletters. Ivan, you have jumped in headfirst straight into this internship. You have so much energy and charisma, and you have all the core members on their toes trying to keep up with you. It wasn't even your first week into this internship, and you were already blowing people away speaking at webinars. Melusine, I ask myself every day what angel dropped you down into our team, because you've been such a pleasure to work with. You two have so much energy and valuable perspectives and interests, which you are harnessing within some really, really fantastic projects. And Ryan, your ideas and creativity have truly found their home here at Youth Fusion. Might I add, our social media is really at its peak, and it's in large part thanks to your awesome and highly informative infographics that have really given a fresh life into it. So to all the interns, we can really not express how utterly elated the core members are to have welcomed you into our team this summer. You have all added so much value in your own unique ways to this organization, and you are a huge part of Youth Fusion's continuous growth. You should all be very proud of yourselves for how awesome you are, and please know that we are never letting you go. You are stuck with us now. So now that my gratitude dump is over, I would like to talk about some of the aforementioned projects and activities we have been doing here at Youth Fusion. So you can all put your tissues away now. So as I might have slightly hinted at before, we have taken on 4 new interns over the summer, a task that I was primarily in charge for and really pushed for within the team. And our aim was to give the interns new skills, knowledge, and also incorporate them into our vast network, and to really tap into their talents and interest, and to make this internship their own and focus on what they are most passionate about. So far, I think it's been working pretty great. And the beauty of this dynamic is that we all have a symbiotic relationship in that we learn from one another. I know personally that I have learned a lot from this process, as well as from each intern. So to conclude on the interns, I would really like to stress the importance of this effort on the part of Youth Fusion, as it is really hard for youth to enter the disarmament field. And that's why Youth Fusion is so passionate about providing a space for youth to get their foot in the door and start their journey into this field, all the while doing it in a safe and conducive space. It is probably the most important effort that we have made, and is also truly rewarding, as you could probably have sensed during my gratitude dump. And as I always say, and also what Youth Fusion truly encompasses, is that if you have more food than you need, metaphorically speaking, then you should make your table bigger. And I think that that's what we're really doing here. And the next thing I would like to touch upon is focusing more on our external dealings, which Vanda also lightly touched upon, namely our partnerships. So Youth Fusion has made sure that we have a strong internal dynamic, so we can also have a very strong external one. Which over the past 2 years we have been successful in doing. Our partners that we have worked with span from PNND, Basel Peace Office, the UNODA, the World Future Council, Youth for TPNW, the Atomic Reporters, the G100 Women Security and Defense Wing, Nuclear Wake Up Call.Earth, to the United Nations Youth Association Network, and some of its other national and regional branches. So therefore, there are a lot of external elements that shape Youth Fusion and contribute towards its growth too. We are very grateful for our vast network and hope to continue cultivating such valuable relationships and partnerships, as Marzan also touched upon, both internally and externally. Well, that's pretty much it from me for now. I've really enjoyed reflecting on all that we have accomplished as a team over the past few years, and it has definitely given me a boost to continue on our path of success. Thank you to the Youth Fusion team. I love you guys, and I'm so proud of us all. So here's to making the world a better place. And now I shall pass the floor over to Nico.
Thank you, Michaela, for that very heartwarming and tear-drawing speech. Good evening and good day to everyone tuning in. It's absolutely brilliant being here with you all to receive this recognition of youth-led disarmament work that today's ceremony really represents, together with this incredible team you've just heard from that has achieved so much in such a short time. And I also have to say that it's an honor to come together in recognizing the impressive history behind the Gorbachev Schultz Award, in which world leaders came together in a moment of clarity and trust that I find is growing exceedingly rare in world politics today. And I think reflecting on my own journey towards this day, it consists of a funny combination of chance and deliberation, where deep passions and ideas about what the world should or could look like have interlinked with unknowingly stumbling upon the right contexts at the right time. All leading me to this privilege, which is really how I see it, of working for disarmament and solidarity and against war and violence with this engaged group of youths, which is really the angle from which I view our work at Youth Fusion. So being interested in politics and global affairs already as a little kid, I remember being deeply bothered by one issue in particular, namely the fact that no one seemed to speak of weapons, wars, or even violent video games in terms of their real nature, that being the various inventions, narratives, and tools through which humanity labors ceaselessly to kill one another. And I remember posing myself the question, why on earth do we dedicate so much time and resources into developing ever more creative and expansive ways of killing? And for the life of me, I couldn't make it make sense that we have come so far as a world, as a human society with so much brilliancy, ingenuity, and kindness all around, and yet we still invest more in war and violence than in identifying and addressing its root causes. So coming out of university, strengthened with certain analytical tools, but none the wiser as to why policymakers keep choosing war and arms over peace and dialogue, I started my internship with Parliamentarians for Nuclear Non-Proliferation and Disarmament in January 2021, through which I first came across Youth Fusion. And having battled with these questions for so long, but really in isolation and more in essays and frustrating conversations with trigger-happy strangers than in practice, I remember how it all suddenly started making sense once I joined Youth Fusion. Because as we've heard today, here finally I had a team of hands-on, like-minded young people who wanted to open these questions up to youth globally, to create a platform through which to learn and share and cooperate our way towards a better understanding for nuclear weapons politics and their many intersections with other global challenges like insecurity, gender insecurity, climate injustice, or poverty and conflict. And here finally was a team and a network with whom and through which I could partake in actual advocacy activities and engage directly with experts, policymakers, and field practitioners. And the main pillars of Youth Fusion's work, inclusivity, intersectional thinking, interdisciplinary methodologies, and intergenerational dialogue and cooperation, are really pillars I attempt to be guided by in all facets of my personal and professional life. And I believe that should they be allowed to guide more people in the disarmament sector, we'd make 100 times the progress than we're seeing today. So this is what Youth Fusion really represents to me, a small but oh so capable part of a movement seeking to give voice to those most affected by today's lethal combination of existential challenges, from nuclear weapons to climate chaos and social inequity, as well as policymakers' utter lack of sustainable thinking. And finding your own voice on global existential challenges like these is one thing, but believing in that voice and accessing the opportunity to make it heard is something else entirely. Enough of me rambling about this for now. Let me instead share an example of the incredible projects that have come out of Youth Fusion since our 2020 inception. Because a personal favorite of mine that I've also been involved with is the Youth Fusion podcast, in which we engage our members with experts and leaders in the many fields relevant to nuclear disarmament, discussing everything from the militarization of space or parliamentary avenues to promote disarmament, to personal accounts of surviving nuclear weapons use or testing, and the myriad ways in which one can get involved with these issues, from the natural and social sciences to art, to religion, and far beyond, as well as from the local to the global levels. And in the Elder series, we engage the Youth Fusion elders, all a long time and effective leaders in various peace and disarmament fields, in a dialogue across generations, continents, cultures, and professions, learning from their stories of trial and error, hope and doubt, and being guided by their leadership, accomplishments, ideas, and wisdom. Then in the expert series, you can hear from and be inspired by a diverse array of practitioners and experts, learning about things like nuclear geography, nuclear disarmament and gender, Chinese nuclear no first use policy, or how to employ anthropological methods in mapping nuclear colonial legacies. And there's really a red thread running throughout all of Youth Fusion's activities, from this podcast to our webinars and conferences, blog articles and bi-monthly newsletters, namely our aim to provide our networks with educative, informative, and accessible materials through which to learn and be inspired, to join and continue a vital intergenerational conversation about peace, disarmament, and justice, and finally, through which to gain both the theoretical knowledge and the practical tools needed to become an agent of change in these fields. So again, to wrap up, this is what the Youth Fusion Network means to me, and really what I wanted to become for others: a context of opportunity and solidarity, and a reassurance that youth voices matter in the making of tomorrow. So a huge thanks to United Religions Initiative and Voices for this brilliant award, and a huge thanks to my team and to all the members and everyone tuning in. And I'm super happy now to hand over to my Youth Fusion colleague, Ivan.
Thank you so much, Nico, for such an inspiring talk. I'm very delighted to talk to you as a fresh blood, like Michaela put it, as a Youth Fusion intern, hopefully not YouTube. So hi everyone, my name's Ivan. I'm a Youth Fusion intern from Russia, currently based in Turkey. I am a research assistant at the Center for Foreign Policy and Peace Research at Bilkent University in Ankara in Turkey. And my story with Youth Fusion goes kind of back to one day when I found myself musing over a crazy project idea, thinking, well, how do I get cracking on it? Who should I talk to and consult? And all of my doubts and qualms faded away when I stumbled upon the Youth Fusion website. And the most incredible part of the internship itself is perhaps freedom of choice. And for example, now I'm developing my own project, a disarmament campaign aimed at bringing together the Russian and American youth to put our heads together and build a sustainable and robust communication environment that will be conducive to the strategic control talks between the countries that are apparently stalled. So there is no conversation going on right now. I cannot emphasize more the diversity and a feeling of togetherness fostered by everyone in the team at large. Not only has the Youth Fusion kind of introduced me to the field, but also equipped me with some greatly valuable skills in project management and research skills that I keep using and I will enhance in the future. So thank you guys for that. The Youth Fusion has been a very creative, and is a creative hub that kind of serves very big and ambitious goals to me, and not only to me, but to so many young people out there. As I'm making my very first forays into writing about the ban treaty, arms control, I think that the Youth Fusion platform is by far the best platform to share your thoughts and ideas. And I want to express my big thanks to the core team that has put their minds and time into the fantastic projects that have been mentioned above before me. And a kind reminder to everyone who believes in the power of youth and is eager to support the work Youth Fusion is doing, our funding campaign is still running, and the link has been shared in the chat. So your contribution will absolutely be vital to us and to our work, and will definitely enable us to embark upon even bigger projects, educational initiatives, and organize more events in the future. And we'd be extremely grateful for your donations. And finally, if, today's event has inspired you to take action, please look out for our further announcements about the next internship circle that will be made towards the end of the year. And I would like to thank you so much. Thank everyone here on the team for giving me the opportunity to speak and to participate. And I think now it's time to give the floor back to Bishop Swing for some final remarks. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you. 5 inspired and inspiring people. I hope that when we give an award and receive an award, that won't be the end of our relationship. You care about partners, we care about partners. Why shouldn't we be partners? So I look forward not only to this day, but I look forward to being with you all Voices and Youth Fusion together on many occasions, in many ways, in many projects in the future. This is just a little step into the future together. I want to say that Youth Fusion today takes its place as the third recipient of the award. The first recipient was Kekishan Basu from Toronto, Canada, and the second one was Sahil Shaw from Geneva, and now you all are the third one. If anybody would like to find out anything about you about voices, it's very simple. You just
I think you were muted again, Bishop.
I didn't mean to. Okay, we have a very we have a wonderful website. It's called it's voices-uri.org. URI, if you can't remember that, it's upper respiratory infection. Maybe that'll work. But that'll give you a sense what we do. And finally, I want to thank you for watching. And we have a prayer, and I invite you to join in it in your own words or your own work, which says, help us to lift the fog of atomic darkness that hovers so pervasively over our earth, creation's earth. Help us to lift the fog of atomic darkness. Thank you for being who you are. Congratulations, and I look forward to the future with you. Thank you.